What's up, y'all? How are y'all doing today? Y'all, I'm very excited about this live. So come on, get in here and let me know, where are you located? So I'm Tasha from the Major Change Group, and y'all, I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. Y'all, it's been cold here. I'm just like, dang. But it ain't been snowing, so that's good, but it's been cold. So, how are y'all doing today? I hope that y'all are doing well. So we just gonna come in here and chit chat for a little bit, seeing how y'all doing. So y'all, let me tell y'all, today I had got a few messages, a few comments about the Navy Federal Gold Prepaid card. And so I was like, you know what? Let me go and check my emails. And then boom, there it was. And so I said, let me come on here and chat about it, especially since I had a few people comment on my previous video. And so I said, let me get on here and let's chat about it. So let me know, how are y'all doing today? It is Wednesday. Yes, y'all. It is. I had a pretty good day today. The week has been going by pretty fast, because I'm just like, this morning when I got up, I'm just like, what day is it? I kind of thought it was Tuesday, but then it was Wednesday. So I'm just like, dang. But yeah, so all right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and jump in here. And I want to say, what's up to Rodney? What up, Rodney? How are you doing? Y'all, I was able to meet Rodney when I went to Puerto Rico in November. And so I had a really good time there. I got to see a lot of people. I got to see Sledge. I got to see Rodney. I got to meet some other people. I got to meet a whole lot of people. So that was good. Yes, I got another comment. What's going on with the prepaid card? Yes, that's what we're gonna be talking about. I think we're just gonna jump right on in. But when you come in, let me know, where are you located. So we're just gonna go ahead and jump right in. So y'all, I've had the Navy Federal Go Prepaid card. I've had it for a couple of years, but I really don't use it as much, seeing that I have 3 Navy Federal credit cards. I got the Navy Federal More Rewards, the Navy Federal Cash Rewards, and the Navy Federal Flagship. So it's just like, I really don't use the Navy Federal Go Prepaid that much, but I did actually load it this year. And when I load my Navy Federal Go Prepaid card, I usually load it with my Navy Federal I want to say my cash rewards card. And so I want to say back in July, they had sent us a message about some changes that they were already making with the Navy Federal Go Prepaid card. So now, what? That's like 4 months. And here in December, they are doing some other changes. So Rodney said he is in Delaware. That is cool. So let me share my screen on this side and we will get started. Oh, we got Jersey in the house. So I know it's cold. I cannot take it. So y'all, I had got a few comments earlier today talking about the Navy Federal prepaid card, stating that you're no longer going to be able to load it from there. And I want to give a shout out to Edmund, because I want to say a few weeks ago, he had put a message in there about the Navy Federal prepaid, but I didn't have an email about it. And I think somebody else had put a message about it, but we didn't have any of the information. And so, I couldn't confirm it at that time. And then even when I went onto the website, I didn't see anything. And so today I got this email stating that you are no longer going to be able to load your Navy Federal Go Prepaid card with credit cards. Y'all, and they're going to stop this on December the 10th. So that's only That's a week away. Let me see. Yeah, a whole week. So they sent the email out today, and they're gonna give you 7 days to be able to I guess go ahead and load it. But it's stating that you will no longer be able to fund your prepaid gold card with the credit cards, because you could either load it with the Visa or the MasterCard. So let me know in the comments, have y'all seen this? Okay, we got somebody from DC. Hello, thank you so much for joining. So yeah, you'll have to let me know in the comments, do you currently have the Navy Federal Go Prepaid card? And if you do have the Navy Federal Go Prepaid card, how do you load it? And so on December the 10th of this year, they're going to stop to where you cannot load it. You can only load it with your debit card. Y'all, I could not even believe this. I'm just like, wow. Now, when you go on to the website, let me see. When you go on to the website, it hasn't been updated. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. So it hasn't been updated yet on the website, but they sent the email, because that's my email that I got, stating that you no longer will be able to fund your Go Prepaid card with the credit cards. And so that's either with the Visa or the MasterCard. And so I normally would load mine with the Navy Federal Cash Rewards, but I wouldn't do it that often. And so you'll have to let me know, did you find a whole lot of benefit with being able to load your Navy Federal Go Prepaid card with your credit card? Yeah, let me know. What are you thinking about this? Is this going to impact you not being able to load your Go Prepaid card with your credit card? Yeah, I don't see it on here that it's been updated. But you'll have to let me know. What are you thinking about this? Yep. So earlier today, I think it was maybe like 3:30. I'm in Central Time. They had sent me this email stating that you will no longer be able to fund your prepaid card using the credit cards. So the funding option will discontinue with the Navy Federal Gold prepaid card on December the 10th. You can still continue to use your debit card to load your Go prepaid card. And so I'm assuming that probably next week they are going to update it in the system. But as of on the 10th, you can only use your debit card. And so I wonder how many people is that going to impact, because I have loaded it maybe 3 to 4 times with my Navy Federal Cash Rewards card, but I really wouldn't load it with that much. I would just do it so that it could stay active. And y'all, this year, it was a couple of months ago, they had texted me where somebody has some kind of way, somebody had got a hold of my I guess my card, even though it was in my purse. And so they tried to use the card for maybe like $50 or $60. And so they had sent me a new prepaid card. But I haven't loaded it since then. But I might have like $9 still loaded on the card. But after 6 months, if you're not using the card and it's inactive, they'll start, withdrawing $1, I want to say every month. And so that happened to me one time, because I always use my Navy Federal. Well, I would use my Navy Federal credit cards. Really, I would be using my credit cards because, I want to get the points and the cash back with using the credit cards, opposed to when I had originally got the Navy Federal prepaid card, I was really trying to use it to pay my mortgage. But see, you can't use your debit card and stuff like that. And so I wasn't able to do it. And then I just started using my credit card and all that kind of stuff so that I can get the points and cash back and all that. But then ever so often, I would load it with like $50 or $60 with my Navy Federal Cash Rewards card. But then now they are stating that as of December the 10th, you can no longer do it. And so I was just like, wow. I wonder why they are doing that. Because the good thing is it wasn't a cash advance to be able to load your Go Prepaid card with your credit card. And so you could do that. But the thing is, if you were loading it, it wasn't like you were going to be able to get points or anything like that or reach your minimum spend with loading it. So to me, it really wasn't as a benefit, more so to me than using a credit card. So you'll have to let me know, what are you thinking about this? Is this going to impact you not being able to load your Go Prepaid card with your credit card? How do you feel about it? And so I'm just kind of surprised. It's just like, is there, because I was thinking about, like, where do you think that we're going with, credit cards and all that kind of stuff? Do you think that the banks and the credit unions are going to start kind of cracking down on the, approvals and the credit line increases and things like that with the credit cards? Because, a few years ago, they were starting to close credit cards due to inactivity and just close them. So do you think that anything like that is going to start going on, especially since they're, kind of cracking down on not being able to fund your Go Prepaid card with the credit card? So I'm going to have to do a poll on my community tab asking, how many people do you think that this will impact? So I don't know. We'll have to see. We will have to see. Let me share my screen again. Yep. So let me know. What are you thinking in the comments? Is this going to impact you? I know we have a couple of people in here. Do you have the Navy Federal Go Prepaid card? And do you find it useful? So let me know what you're thinking in the comments. Let's see. Oh, let me share my screen again. Okay, so as of today, Navy Federal sent out emails stating that you will no longer be able to fund your Navy Federal Go Prepaid card with your credit cards. How is this going to impact you? Now, I think that especially if you have kids or, somebody that you wanted to have a secured card, especially, I could definitely see using the Go Prepaid card if you don't have a credit card over just using your debit card, because I think it's just a little bit more secured than, with your credit. With your debit card, you don't want to mess up your regular money. And so I think it's just a little bit more safer to carry, like a prepaid card or a credit card, in my opinion. And so I could see people wanting to get the Go Prepaid card, but especially I could see people wanting the Go Prepaid card to be able to load it with your credit card funds. But then now that you're not going to be able to do that, how is it going to impact how you were using the Go Prepaid card? And so for me, it's not going to really impact me as much because I really haven't been loading it and I really haven't been using it. I would just use it ever so often. Cause really for me, I'm just trying to get all the points that I can get. So I really wasn't using my Go Prepaid card that much. But we'll have to see. I'm gonna do a poll on my community tab asking how is this going to impact you to be able to not use the Go Prepaid card? Well, you can still use the card. So, when you get the email, and then you'll have to let me know in the comments, have you gotten the email? So here it's not stating that they are discontinuing the card. They're just discontinuing the funding option to use the credit card. So that's the only thing. So it's still going to be available. And remember, especially like years ago when you had like the Rush card and all those prepaid cards. Because see, I worked at Walgreens for how many years? I think I worked at Walgreens for 7 years. So those prepaid cards were very popular, where you would have to go in and fund it with cash. But then now that you can fund it with your credit cards, that was pretty good because you wasn't using your regular money to have to fund it, even though you would have to pay the card off, but at least it wasn't a cash advance to be able to do that. And so I think that was the good thing. But then now that you're not going to be able to do it and you have to use your debit card, how is that going to impact you? And so, y'all, I'm actually coming up on 6 years with my Navy Federal flagship credit card. Yep, I'm coming up on 6 years. And so I had got the Navy Federal flagship first, and then I got the Navy Federal more rewards. And so this was like I love these two credit cards, especially the Navy Federal flagship card. Y'all, I was just like, man. And then to be able to use this card, the more rewards, because you was getting 3 times the points of dining, groceries, and gas. But then when I had got the American Express Gold card and it had 4 times the points, then I really wasn't using my more rewards card anymore. But I actually just started using it again. And so right now they have, for the Navy Federal flagship, you can earn 3,500 bonus points when you spend 3,500 within 90 days. And you'll get that Amazon Prime membership that's worth $139. So y'all, I'm really loving that because you get it annually. And then also I had ended up getting I got the TSA pre-check, and then I downgraded my American Express Gold card to the American Express Green card, and I have Clear. So I got Clear through my Green. So now no matter what, because you know how sometimes the line be kind of long for the TSA pre-check, and so then you can just go over to Clear. And so for $49 annual fee, like you can't go wrong with this Navy Federal flagship. Like that's so worth it, even just for the Amazon Prime. And so I really like this card. And so then with the Navy Federal Cash Rewards card, they have where you can get 2% cash back, and you can get the $250 bonus when you spend $2,500 within the first 90 days. And they have a low 1.99% interest rate for the first 12 months. So that's actually not too bad. And then the good thing about the Navy Federal credit cards is that they have the low interest rates. But if we are, paying off our credit cards, and then, we've been talking a lot about the being able to not have pay interest on credit cards. And so you'll have to check out a couple of those videos that I was doing. But yeah, so I just wanted to come on here really quick and see what you guys were thinking about the Navy Federal Go Prepaid card, not being able to use your credit cards to be able to fund the Go Prepaid card. So let me know in the comments, what are you thinking about this? I didn't want to come on for too long, but I definitely wanted to come on and chat about it. But you'll have to let me know what you're thinking about this. And I want to shout out to a few people. Let me see. So let me see. Hold on, we got a question. So, with doing this abruptly, do you think something is up? You know what? I really do think something is up with this, because if you think about it, in July, they had already started making changes around the Go Prepaid card. And then now that they're just all of a sudden, they sent this email out today, because I started getting messages on the other Go Prepaid videos stating that they're discontinuing, and I'm like, what is going on? So then I checked my emails and I saw it, and I was like, dang. And I said pretty much just the question that you're asking. And I was like, why would they just abruptly be doing this? Because they're going to be stopping it on next week, 7 days. Because really it was a benefit. It was really a benefit because, one, it wasn't going to be a cash advance, but then two, I mean, really you would have to end up paying the credit card off. And so whenever I would do the, paying and loading my Go Prepaid card I was always using the cash rewards card. Like, I would pay it off within 30 days. So, I find it pretty interesting that they would do that, because it was really benefiting, the consumer. I think that it was. But on the same hand, to me, because it's just like when I got the Navy Federal Go Prepaid card, I was just like, since I'm trying to get points, that's where it really didn't benefit me, because I'd rather get the points. Yep, I benefit from the non-cash advance. Yeah, and see, that's what I was thinking. To me, that's the only benefit that you could do, was it not being a cash advance. This is going to be a major blow to the members. Wow. Yeah, and see, that's what the question is. It's just like, how is this going to impact you? And so that's why I was saying, for me, it wasn't necessarily going to impact me, because it's not very often that I'm loading my Go Prepaid card, but I had loaded it this year because it had been, some months since I had loaded it. And, if you don't use the card within 6 months, then they start withdrawing like $1 every month from the card. And so I was just like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and load it. But to me, I just found it better to be able to use my credit card so that I could get the points and cash back. And so that's, where I was at. But just like you were stating, to me, the biggest thing was with the cash advance, not getting a cash advance fee on it. And so now, per the email, you can only load it with your debit card. So, yeah. So I'm going to put a poll on the community tab just asking, how is this going to impact you? And then, especially with the holidays coming, being able to do that. So, but yeah, but I hope that y'all are doing well. Are y'all doing a lot of Christmas shopping? Did y'all do a lot of Black Friday shopping? And then we just had Cyber Monday a few days ago. Did y'all do a lot of shopping for the holidays? I didn't do any shopping for the holidays. And so I didn't do no shopping, but I am, because my sister was telling me, especially for yesterday, Tuesday, and I had went on some of the airlines, and so it seemed like the airlines had better prices on Tuesday, and she was telling me about it. And so I had went on there taking a look. But see, what I really want to do is I really want to open up me some airline credit cards so that I can get me some points for airlines. And so like this year, I really just been using my City Platinum American Airlines credit card and my Southwest, a little bit, because I really just been trying to earn more points for flights, because I had quite a bit of points for hotels. And so this year for my domestic travel, I've been able to use all points and cash back. But I really still needed more points for hotels, because when I had went to Puerto Rico, and that's where I met Rodney, I met him in Puerto Rico. And so I got to see him, Joe, Sledge, Mike. I got to see Caesar. I got to see a whole lot of people there. And I had to pay for my airfare there because I didn't have enough points. And then plus, because I was kind of messing around and I didn't book the flight when the points were kind of low, because I really didn't have a lot. And then by the time I had got some more points, the flights had went up. And so then I had to end up, paying for the flight. And the flight was kind of up there. I was like, dang, that's crazy. And so I flew Southwest, but it was kind of up there. But I was able to use points for my hotel. And so that was good. Yep. So you'll have to let me know what credit cards or things are you going to be opening soon. And so I'm definitely thinking about opening up me one or two credit cards, but I'm thinking there's going to be airline credit cards. And so I was looking at the Delta, American Express Delta credit card, and I was kind of looking at the Chase United credit card, and I was looking at the either Hawaiian or Alaskan Air. So I was looking at those credit cards too. So when I get off of this live, I'm gonna take a look a little bit more, and because what I think I'm gonna be doing, I think I'm gonna be opening up not one but two credit cards in one day. So that so I'm gonna do that, because the last time that I opened up credit cards it's been like 2 years. So I don't have no inquiries on my credit right now. So, but I'm really thinking about, doing that. So I definitely will keep you posted. So, we can check that out. But alrighty, y'all, I definitely appreciate you guys joining the chat. So I want to say thank you for Rodney for coming in, and Tyler. And I just want to thank everybody for joining. Donovan. And Donovan, you'll have to let me know how you're thinking about this. I do think that this can really be an impact to the members, but I am just very interested to see how many people this will impact. Yes, Rodney, you have a great night. You stay warm up there. Because I'm just like, I already know that it's getting cold there. It's getting cold here. I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. So I don't really like the cold, y'all. I'm just like, oh my goodness gracious. But yeah, so I hope that y'all have a good night. And I will talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Oh, what's up, Dr. G? Came in right at the end. Dr. G, what's going on, y'all? How are you doing, Dr. G? I really appreciate you with the $10 super chat. I really appreciate you coming in right at the end. Dr. G, you'll have to let me know, how are you feeling about this Navy federal announcement? Did you get the email of them talking about that with the Navy Federal Go Prepaid card, that they are no longer going to let people load it with the credit cards? So now you can only load it with the debit card. So I'm just like, wow. But yes, Dr. G, I really appreciate you so much with the $10 super chat. That is really appreciated. So we will stay on here just for a minute and see if there are any other. Okay, this is your first time hearing about this. Now, Dr. G, you'll have to let me know. Do you have the Navy Federal Go prepaid card? Also, check your email, because let me see, what time did it come down? Yeah, it came down actually at, I want to say, noon Central Time. But look, I didn't see it until maybe like 3 o'clock, because I started getting messages on the old videos stating that they were going to be discontinuing it. So I was just like, whoa. But then also, like I was saying in the beginning, I wanted to give a shout out to Edmund, because Edmund had already, I'm gonna have to go back to that comment. He had already said something, but I had checked my emails. I had went on to the Navy Federal site and I couldn't see anything about it. And I was just like, dang. So I wonder what kind of insider information did he know, because I hadn't heard anything about it. And then today I was getting messages, comments about it, and I was just like, whoa. And so then I said, because it was like after I had got one, I think I got maybe like 3 or 4. And so I said, man, let me check my email. And so I checked my email, and then boom, there it was. Yeah, that flagship, man, Doc. I'm coming up on 6 years with the Navy Federal flagship. And so I am really loving that credit card. You know, I'm not really using that card as much, but I do have like maybe I want to say I have one thing that is auto drafted off of that card, so that I can make sure that I have some, some things that are coming out of there, because I don't want it to be inactive. And so I make sure, and then maybe like every other month, I make sure to allow it to report to the credit bureau, so I can at least show some usage on that card. Let me see. Yeah, people are probably scamming. That's the sad part about it. But this is what I was thinking, Doc. But it's just like, on the one hand, but you know what? People can figure out how to scam, because the thing is, the only benefit that I could see is that, yes, you were going to be able to load it without getting a cash advance. But then on the same hand, if you didn't want to have to pay interest on the credit card, you still was going to have to pay it off within 30 days or so. So it's just like, I was just really trying to think what kind of, what would really be like a huge benefit to it. But I do believe that it possibly could be some kind of scamming out there. So we'll have to see what else comes out there, because I don't think that they would just all of a sudden do that, because this was just like, boom, they sent the emails out and it's only going to be 7 days. And this is the thing. In July, they had already made some changes to the Go Prepaid card. So they was already making some changes to it in July. And then now, that's what, 4 months ago, they're coming down again and saying that you can no longer fund it with your credit cards. So it's just like, something definitely had to happen. So I'm going to keep my eyes and my ears out to see if any articles or anything comes from it. But I didn't see anything as of yet. So I don't know. Yes, I love it, especially with the Amazon Prime credit. And look, Doc, this is what I'll say. Definitely, because I have my Navy. Look, one time, so I've had the credit card 6 years, but see, this is the thing. When I had first got the Navy Federal flagship, they didn't have the where you can get the Amazon Prime credit. But then I think it's been probably 4 years or more that they've been doing it, and then they let you get it on the back end. And so I was like, man, you gotta love Navy Federal for doing that, because sometimes you wouldn't be able to get the credit. And then so I was getting it. And then when I had got it the second year, I was like, whoa, that's crazy. But then I had got the Chase Prime Visa credit card, and then it was on there as my primary, and then I didn't get it 1 year, and I was like, dang, I was so upset. And so then now I make sure that the Navy Federal Flagship is my primary card, and then but when I purchase stuff, I'll change it to the the other credit card. And so I'm just like, never again will that happen to me where I'm not gonna be getting the credit. So yes. And so I want to give a shout out to Rodney. Thank you so much, Rodney, for the super chats. You are so welcome. I always try to make sure that I'm sharing as much information as I can. And so I really appreciate you sending the super chat. Thank you so much for that. Doc, I'm glad that you appreciate it. I just appreciate you guys for watching the content and supporting and things like that. So I appreciate you guys so much. But yes, I am just so interested to see. And so when we get off, and I really should have did it before I came on, but I said, because I had got off from work and I was like, let me come in here right quick. And so I'm gonna do a poll on my community tab. But while I'm talking about polls on the community tab, because you know what? I was thinking, especially since December is gonna be, we just got in December, but I'm just like, y'all, it's already going by so fast. And so I said, you know what? I'm gonna do either it's gonna be a poll or some kind of post every day. And so really, how can we prepare ourselves for 2026, because it's right around the corner? And so the polls and things that I'm putting is just going to be, okay, I want to say yesterday it was about, have you created a budget? And so it's very important that we, be good stewards of our money and budget our money and things like that, because I really feel like even if you don't want to say budget, if we are, telling our money what to do, then we can have more control on things that we want to do with our money. And so I did that poll, and then I asked, especially in December, because we can still, if we had goals that we had created in January, there are still a lot of things that we can do before the end of the year. So we have to finish strong. And at work on my team, we got this lock in. And so we done had it since October, and we want to lock in. But I'm just like, especially after Thanksgiving, sometimes we can kind of wind down since we thinking the year is just coming around so fast, but we got to lock in 1,000% and really finish strong. And so that's what I'm trying to do. So I'm just really trying to finish strong and really writing down my goals and things like that. So Dr. G said, buy silver and gold if possible. And so I think that that's cool. But yeah. So yeah. But we're going to get on out of here. And I just want to thank everybody for joining. But I want to thank Dr. G for the $10 super chat. I really appreciate you for doing that. And then I want to thank Rodney for the $9.99 super chat. I really appreciate you. And it was really good to meet you at the Puerto Rico trip. And it was good to, see everybody. But y'all, I hope that y'all have a good rest of the night. Don't forget to go over to the community tab, because I'm going to be having posts on the community tab every day. But then also, y'all, you will have to go over to my Etsy shop, because I got my 2026 digital budget planner on the Etsy shop. And so, y'all, I really love my digital budget planner, because you have your budget, you have your debt repayment, and I even put it's like a bingo challenge to where it has the boxes and you can put different things in there. So let's say, do you want to save $1,000, $5,000? Do you want to get a Roth IRA? Do you want to open up a credit card? What are the things? Are you trying to get an 800 credit score? Because y'all, I'm trying to get me an 800 credit score in 2026. I think it's time. Because y'all, I'm like I think I'm averaging a 767. So I'm trying to get up to an 800. And so just putting the different things that you want to accomplish in the boxes, and then as you accomplish them, you can just go bingo. And so I thought that that was very cool. But yeah, it's just really a way for us to be organized with our finances. But if you're not ready to purchase the digital budget planner, you can always go over to my site, themajorchangegroup.com, and I have a free budget and debt repayment template, but it also has the bingo template in there as well. Now, the only thing is, on my site, it's only pretty much 1 month. But technically, if you just wanted to, reuse it, because I'm not for sure where you're using it at, because with the digital budget planner, you have to use it in like GoodNotes and things like that. But on the site, you can, it has it where you can type in there and stuff. And so you can it's just a way for us to be organized. So, but really, if you don't even want to use either one of those, you can always use pencil and paper, because that's how I started, with pencil and paper. And then, I just moved up, and then I created my own digital budget planner. And so, y'all, I think this is year 4. This might be year 4 of my digital budget planner. So I'm just very excited about it. But yeah, go over to my Etsy shop and check it out if you're interested. But I hope that y'all have a good rest of the day. And then Rodney said, yes, that's what I'm talking about. He said he's trying to get an 800 as well. Y'all, I'm trying to get me a high credit score, but I definitely think that anything over probably a 720 is good. So it's just like, on the one hand, I don't know that there is, most of the time I'm able to get any credit card that I want, except for that one Capital One credit card that one time. But I didn't have no business still applying for it, since I wasn't pre-qualified. So that was my fault. And then the inquiry finally fell off. So I'm very excited about that. So I learned my lesson. But I think that the most important piece of our credit score is going to be the credit card utilization. So we just want to make sure, especially if we already have credit cards, that we are not reporting high credit card utilization. So y'all, my next video that I got coming up, I'm very excited about it, because we're going to be talking about how we can, so y'all gonna have to just check it out. So y'all gonna have to come over to the channel, but it's definitely going to be about credit card utilization and how we can report and stuff like that. So that's kind of really what I'm on right now. But we're still going to be talking about credit cards, because that's what I was saying earlier, that I'm going to be applying for probably 2 airline credit cards. But yeah, so for sure, just make sure that you turn on your notifications, so you will be able to get notified when new content drops. So you guys, I really appreciate you, and I hope that you have a good night, and we will talk soon. I hope that you have a good one. Bye.